Hey everybody, welcome back to Airsoftology Mondays, the show that answers your questions, helps you out in a pinch, and also is running for office in 2016. That's right, Airsoftology for Airsoft President. I'm your host, Jonathan Higgs, and that is it. I know it's a little shameless self-promotion, but I got a new patch in the patch store. I want to start off with this. We'll get the shameless stuff out of the way, then we'll get into the good meat of the show. This is the Make Airsoft Great Again. Now, regardless of your political affiliation, it's not a political statement or anything. I just wanted to do this because seriously, there's a lot of little bickering and infighting at times in Airsoft, and I thought this patch would just kind of help underscore that we should all unify for making everybody call their hits, having fantastic refs, affordable fields, and supporting your local or your favorite online store. Those are the party platforms this year. So if you guys are behind it, I would love to have you on board. Elections are sometime later this year. So anyway, if you guys want to check these out, I do have them in the Airsoftology store. They just went live. I mean, literally just went live. In fact, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you saw this yesterday. A little sneak peek for you. $8 shipped anywhere worldwide. Oh, one more thing, real quick before we go. The vlogs. Do you guys like what I'm doing? If you haven't watched, I've got a vlog, and I'll put a link up over here to it. If you like what I'm doing with the vlogs when I travel and I go to events, would you like to see it that way, or do you want to see gameplay from the events? So also let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, well, that's it for me yapping and opening here. Let's dive on into what you're really here for, and that is your questions in the Palco Mail Call. Aid Collins writes, as a new person to Airsoft, I'm starting to get the feeling that it's split into two factions. The guys that skirmish and like to have fun, and the elitists that Milsim. Is Airsoft a game for everyone? You know, I think there are elitists in every little pocket. So I wouldn't say the elitists that Milsim, although Milsim does seem to have a slightly higher percentage of those few elitists, or if they are not necessarily a higher percentage, they're just a very, very vocal minority. So let's start with the elitism across Airsoft. And I think you've seen that in any hobby, sport, whatever out there. I mean, if you dive deep into anything, it's there. If you play golf, if you fish, it's about what fishing rod you use. If you play golf, it's the clubs, it's the ball, it's everything. It's always the case, right? So in Airsoft, it is a little split, and admittedly, into people that like to play CQB, so like the speed softers per se, then also the Milsimmers that are big into the role play and the experience, and then everybody who skirmishes in the middle, and every field I think has their own elitist and structure of people. So in a way, I will have to agree with you, there is a little bit of elitism in this, but there is in every single hobby. In fact, looking around and hearing from other hobbies, I think we've actually got it pretty good, believe it or not. Now, to address the Milsim versus skirmish thing, I think Milsim is a lot of fun. I mean, I've been to obviously a ton of Milsim events, but I still really enjoy playing a good skirmish game at a local field, or when I go travel, a little CQB. I like it all, and I think a real Airsofter will appreciate all of those. Anybody who's like, I'm elitist, I only do XYZ, and to heck with everybody else, they're gonna be like that in all aspects of their life. It's not just Airsoft. And you know what? The best thing to do is just kind of tune them out. Best thing I do, that's what I do. Anybody who's incredibly elitist in my life, I just tune them out, they're gone. They don't exist to me. And that is probably a fantastic approach at your field. So if you're seeing that in the people that are around your field that are super elitist about it, they're just essentially either unhappy with their lives or they're kind of Airsoft bullies in a way. Just ignore them, they'll go away, and keep doing what you're doing and keep enjoying Airsoft. Don't let them erode into what you really love doing and bring you down. Just keep doing what you're doing and keep loving every second of it. Jasperan van der Velde writes, hey John, how do you think about using carrier pigeons and Milsims to give information to your team? Soldiers in the First War did this. I think for purity reenactment it is absolutely perfect. That, and I think you should really invest in high quality telegraph equipment to make sure you get your messages. Obviously the telegraph is far superior than the carrier pigeon in that aspect, but there's limitations that enemies can take out your telegraph lines. So those are two very good ways. I still think the good old fashioned ground scout is a good way because, let's face it, carrier pigeons can be a little unreliable, try to fly back home, and your enemies could take them out if it is a dove season. Airsoft Steve writes, are manual pumps a viable option for filling HPA tanks? So you're talking about the air pumps that you literally can pump up a HPA tank. And actually, if you guys didn't know this, they do exist. They're a little on the pricey side. They're way north of $100 for the most part. They're not like a bicycle pump by any means. They're really high PSI. They actually came about to really facilitate HPA hunting. So like using the hunting rifles, some of the new air bows that are out now here of late, and there's, like I said, there's a lot of hunting rifles that are HPA powered and allows you to fill those in the field. Is it a viable option? It takes a long time. You're gonna get a heck of a workout. I'm telling you, you're gonna have some like fantastic upper body strength. Can you fill a tank in a pinch? Yeah, I would definitely recommend not using that as your only way to fill a tank. Go fill them up at scuba stores, get a couple spare tanks. I know they're so expensive, but try to pick up some spares. And then if you go through all your air, like you're at a big Milsim event, they don't have a tank fill station there, then definitely take advantage of that pump to try to squeeze a few more shots out on a long break. But depending on it as your primary way to fill a tank, you are going to get really buff and be out of the game for a while because it does take quite a while to get those tanks filled up using one of those pumps. Todd DeDolder writes, "Hey Jonathan, I'm soon moving to America, somewhere around Tampa, and I'm scared of all the new laws. Any help?" Well, congratulations for here, and I actually used to live in Tampa. American laws can be very confusing to someone who's moving here. So quick crash course, if you guys are out of the country, if you guys are in America, you guys probably all know this already. For those of you who watch that are out, actually, it's a pretty heavy percentage too. It's like 35% of the viewers are. American laws you have federal laws which kind of dictate everything, which Airsoft is totally good, no worries. Orange tip, only thing required when traveling like through customs, bringing it into the country, things like that. Then things get muddy because every state can pass their own laws. Good news is Tampa is in Florida, which is a very pro firearm state. Typically pro firearm states are pro airsoft states. You're not gonna have any issues. Your states that are traditionally not pro firearm or like they call Second Amendment states or blue states, and again, I'm not getting political affiliation, I'm just stating some facts here, are ones that are more restrictive for airsoft or potentially could be. Those areas are New York City itself. It is totally legal there. Chicago, you're gonna have some major problems around that area. And then of course, California with some of their laws around taped up guns, things like that. So with that said, Florida, you are pretty darn good to go. You have to follow federal regulations. There are no airsoft specific laws in Florida as a whole. Always check with the local city you're gonna be in, but like I said, Florida being a very pro firearms state, you're gonna have a pretty good chance that you are totally good to go no matter where you are. In fact, anywhere around Tampa, in that area, if you're in the Bay Area, Bradenton, all that up and down, the Gulf Coast, or even inland over to Orlando, you're pretty good to go, man. I don't think you need to worry one bit about any kind of crazy airsoft laws. Jake writes, "Do you know that the most operational operator that ever operated operationally operated in the area of operations that prohibited operational operators from operating operationally?" No, I didn't, but I looked it up on Wikipedia and learned all about it. Well guys, that's it for questions this week, which means it is time for the Code Red Headsets video recommendation of the week. And this one is one that I really wasn't aware of this group. They're kind of a regional Milsim operator that I can see being a national player here soon. So I kind of want to bring them to your attention, and it's called JTAC Airsoft Productions. I met these guys in Colorado, really cool group of guys, and they're doing some really neat stuff with Milsim, and they have some really interesting rules and a very well put together website. So that's why I kind of feel like they're on that bubble, getting ready to pop. You're gonna start to see them up there with the likes of American Milsim, Milsim West, Operational Iron Claws or Line Claws team, those guys out there in the national scene. But what I want to bring out to you guys is their Operation Jackal trailer. It's kind of the reel of the video that kind of like, hey man, this is pretty darn well produced. They have like virtually no subscribers on their channel, like 129 I think at the time of this video. But I wanted to share this with you because I thought this was really well put together for a Milsim group that is really largely just regional based right now in Colorado and that area. Also, they have a really good production, like I said, around how they do their respawn rules. They encourage squad-based combat, not individual. And if you guys have ever been to a Milsim group or Milsim event anywhere, the biggest challenge is you get shot, you're left behind, and now you go back to respawn, you gotta try to find your squad. I mean, I've personally like gathered people up and had them run with me because they've lost their squad for hours. So you end up you play like a big game of Where's Waldo versus actually going and playing Milsim and being like trying to fight for the objective and do things like that. So if you guys want to check it out, definitely give it a look. Watch the Jackal trailer. I'm not like, trying to hype up their Milsim events. I definitely want to go check one out before I tell you guys 110%, but from the surface, it looks like they've really got their act together, and especially after meeting them in person. But it is JTAC Airsoft Productions. The video is Operation Jackal trailer, and if you guys want to watch it, you can click it right here, or I have a link in the description below so you can check it out. All right, guys, that is it for this week. As always, thank you so much for being so awesome in the comment section, asking fantastic questions and helping each other out. I love that. You guys really are making Airsoft great, and that's what I love. That's why I made that patch, honestly, because you guys are so awesome. And I always hear like that first question in the video today was, oh man, there's all this infighting and stuff. But to be honest, here there's not. And when I travel around, it's very, very little. I mean, you guys really keep this hobby and sport, or spobby, or what do you want to call it, alive out there all across the US. But again, if you guys want to get your question on the show, it is super simple. Put it in the comment section below, vote up your favorites, and I'll get them on the next show. And please be persistent. I get a lot of fantastic questions. I just can't answer them every single week. So guys, until next week, go out, play some airsoft, have some fun, keep airsoft great again. But no matter what you do, call your freaking hits.